A little over a century ago, an accident of historic proportions turned the eyes of the world on a wilderness outpost called Sutter's Fort in Northern California. And that monumental discovery in 1848 started a trend that has influenced the history of America, for that matter, the history of the world ever since. California then became the land of golden horizons, the realm of promise fulfilled. California now has opened up horizons more golden and filled with promise than ever existed then. For all the precious gold taken from California hills, valleys, and streams since 1848 would not approximate the wealth of products produced in just one northern or central California county in any given week nowadays. For the true gold inherent in this smiling land is only now being realized and discovered through its solid and continuing development as the ideal location for industry and manufacture, large and small. And people? All the Argonauts, the pioneers who crossed the plains to California in gold rush days would make up only a fraction of what has been termed aptly the greatest migration in human history of people moving today from east to west. Where do they come from? Anyone traveling highways from other states to California can see that they come from all the other 47 states in the Union. Then why do so many thousands from other areas flow into California each month? Because of a new and even more spectacular gold rush, more lasting than that in the days of '49. In 2 decades, California manufactures have risen to 6% of the total U.S. production, and California's population has expanded to 9% of the nation's total. Accelerated industrial expansion on choice available plant sites in northern and central California is creating thousands of new jobs for skilled and semi-skilled labor. New capital is finding profitable investment and unlimited opportunities in western population markets that double and redouble in tempo with the music of production swelling in this land, helping to turn out the goods of gold, for they are as good as gold in markets that now cover the earth. Today, the California story of growth is one of the exciting chapters in the history of human progress, because it is primarily a story of people, men, women, children, following a natural urge to live in, to work in, to play in this golden land, a land where they can play all year round, where young champions are developed earlier than anywhere else because of a 12-month play and practice cycle. For climate here is as close to perfect as it can be anywhere on Earth. And once here, the newcomer would rather be here than anywhere else. A man can work here in December without needing an overcoat, or take his recreation every month of the year in light clothing. Here there are no half years for farmers, no years of only summer activity, with winter idleness while the land sleeps under a blanket of snow. Yes, people begin and support the story of northern and central California with their enthusiasm for its truly great climate and the ample room they have found to live in it. In new homes as modern, original, and imaginative as the challenge of the land itself. A land of elbow room, where a man isn't crowded if it's his destiny to develop a new industry, small or large, on land that he can afford to buy. Where, if he wants, he can build himself a 750,000-ton mountain of salt, or level a mountain of earth to make room for a new community. Where men can erect the longest and highest single span in the world, a mile-long overwater steel platform, or usher in an age of wingless flight with another type of platform. where concerns such as General Electric can plan new nuclear laboratories, confident that the highly trained personnel to operate it and probe the world of the future will be readily available. For the San Francisco Bay Area is becoming the primary source for trained scientists from renowned Stanford University, the great University of California, home of the world's first atom smasher or linear accelerator, beautiful University of Santa Clara, located in an area which has established many firsts in the field of electronics, and from San Francisco State College, another outstanding educational institution. These and other factors are reversing former trends, which saw things always moving east to west. Now only people do that, and the things they create and make, their products, move west to east, west to north, to south, to all over the world. Climate and room and beautiful scenery. These would be basic attractions to the people who have been lured to the golden horizons of northern and central California. But the planners, the thinkers, the builders of destiny look farther. They know that within these pleasant mountains and foothills are plentiful natural resources. For 50% of all the natural resources in the entire United States lie in the 11 western states. In the central coastal area of California alone, an inexhaustible source of diatomaceous earth in its purest form provides insulation for boilers and other industrial machinery, filtering materials for California's great cane and beet sugar producers, as well as California's hundreds of wineries. In the historic Mother Lode country, vast open pits supply equally inexhaustible limestone for an endless number of uses, including, again, clarification processes, but particularly as raw materials for the world's largest cement plants on the San Francisco Peninsula and in Calaveras County in the Mother Lode. Here is used another of California's great resources, natural gas, with which the giant cement kilns are fired. Natural gas from deep in the earth, as a companion piece to the dramatic story known to all the world of California's vast wealth of petroleum. Yes, the planners, the thinkers, estimate the rich future of this land of golden horizons on these things: natural resources, such as the water that arises high in the Sierra Nevada, the Cascade, Trinity, Siskiyou, and Coast Ranges, to supply people in the great and growing cities. Clear, pure water, pumped electrically, for California's regions second to none in agricultural wealth. Some of these areas, once desert, have become garden spots beyond compare through the same water, so necessary to the seemingly simple yet important things, such as the householder's lawn, while the same householder may be quite unaware that the water is conserved in man-made lakes hundreds of miles away. He or she, too, may take for granted the magic servant commanded by this casual gesture, or this by the factory worker commanding that same powerful servant to spin the wheels of industrial machinery. Power. Power that originates in hydroelectric plants high in Northern California mountains. Power from water that is only borrowed long enough to spin the great generators and then is released for other beneficial uses. Or power from huge new steam electric generating plants. Here, the natural resource of seawater, circulated for cooling through a single plant in a day, equals the volume of water used by the entire city of San Francisco in the same space of time. How far have we come from this 1895 water wheel, which at Folsom near Sacramento gave rise to today's entire story of hydroelectric power, to this: the capacity of the 5 PG&E steam plants in Contra Costa County alone is larger today than the generating capacity of the company's entire electric system throughout California's 46 northern and central counties prior to Pearl Harbor. And its total generating capacity today is more than triple what it was when we entered World War II. Why? People again. people whose expanding numbers and expanding needs must have that power today and have it available for tomorrow, because California's continuing industrial expansion is already on the blueprints. Its growing needs are already anticipated in terms of power for what truly may be termed the wheels of fortune, not the wheels of chance, unless each revolution does provide a better chance for new industry to locate, to build, to produce, and to add to the growing tide of products that have, in less than half a century, made this area the young colossus it has become. And again, it is the planners, the thinkers, who, in estimating California's natural resources, have put timber on the same ledger with water power. Stands of pine, fir, redwood that blanket the northern counties with trillions of board feet, yet which today is being replanted as fast as it is being harvested, maintaining the best standards of conservation and reforestation to make sure that natural resources of the future will equal those of the present. New, vigorous young trees for the old, providing tomorrow's supply of timber for the sawmills of the region. Some of those mills have been in continuous operation almost since gold rush days, but now producing in a single 8-hour span more usable board feet than was once milled in a week's time. And nothing is wasted. Logs once considered useless find their way to California's great paper industries, where ingenious methods such as hydraulic debarking with water under 1,500 pounds pressure per square inch prepares the logs to become endless rolls of paper, paper for the insulation industry, for building, and to become the countless millions of paper cartons and containers to package the goods that increase and increase as the demand increases. For this is a land where a man can build a single home or thousands of homes for others right from the timber that's here. Or he can build the company to build the trucks that carry finished lumber, or any other products that need to be moved on wheels. It's the kind of a land where he and his associates can build a new railroad if there's need for it. And there was need for it recently in California's beautiful Shasta County, a cradle of natural and man-made lakes, streams, and timber. And so at a time when railroads in the East were being abandoned, and where the thought of a new railroad would be considered unheard of, the McCloud River Railroad was built through Northern California mountains and completed in the year 1955. Built like everything else in these regions in our times, to meet a new challenge and supply the growing demand for lumber that expands even as these words are spoken. Yes, by some standards, a small railroad. Even Northern California's historic Western Pacific Railroad might not be termed the largest. Yet its volume of precious freight, its unique Vista Dome California Zephyrs, its vital link with the Union Pacific and Denver and Rio Grande in Utah, is part of the story of its companion railroads which serve the nation from California, Southern Pacific and Santa Fe. Accessibility. A network of modern railroads to carry the wealth of Northern and Central California's raw materials over the relatively few miles and within the few hours it takes to transport them to major industrial centers. Accessibility by modern highway common carriers, truck trailer rigs that nowadays equal carloads, and serve large and small industry by maintaining loading and dispatching headquarters at strategic locations. Accessibility of products from these golden horizons to the compass points of the universe, reading like a who's who of the manufacturing strength and vitality of the area. Powerful needles threading the cloth of America with the goods from the realm of the Golden Gate, bringing in new goods for the sinews of new industry, or carrying finished products to the east, the Far East, to the great new realm of the South Pacific, to Hawaii, to Fiji, Australia, to all the ports of the world. Through these portals, the universe knocks at the industrial doors of California to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax, even cabbages and kings. No ruler of earthly empire ever commanded such golden horizons as these. No fabled realm ever harbored the treasures that move in and out through these golden gates, where wide, deep, navigable rivers and man-made waterways extend as far as 100 miles inland to California's central industrial agricultural regions, to pick up cargoes of California's superb rice and grain, or its matchless variety of fruits, or for that matter, cotton, San Joaquin Valley cotton. Cotton which not long ago was considered only a product of the southern states and is now second largest among California's 200 other commercial agricultural crops. Crops by the waterways, which at times seem to enfold the passing vessel. Fresh produce finding its way to the busy packing houses that dot the countryside and the urban regions alike. These products of the rich, fertile California soil are world travelers too, taking us back to the ships that load them, along with numberless other cargoes of commerce, and some cargoes which travel neither by sea nor by land, travel high above through the air. A lei of orchids from Honolulu for a sweetheart in Bangor, Maine, ordered in San Francisco. Fresh, crisp iceberg lettuce, cut less than 4 hours ago in Salinas for a celebrated restaurant in Louisiana. Intricate and expensive electronic equipment manufactured on the San Francisco Peninsula for a mining firm in Alberta. A shipment of calculators manufactured in the heavily industrial East Bay for Central America. The air age long ago came of age in California. Its most recent bid to the world, the great San Francisco International Airport, now linking East Coast points within 7.5 hours flying time. And now with projected jet passenger flight on the brink of a 4.5 hour potential. Here, literally millions of miles are flown each year by far-sighted executives of companies which maintain their own planes. Just across San Francisco Bay, Oakland's great sister airport shares private and commercial cargoes, bringing the markets of the world ever closer to the industries that supply them. There is a linkage here, a linkage peculiar to these golden horizons. It is brought about not only by the phenomenal expansion of industry, large and small, but possibly by the adjacency of such new industry to other such industries, in which the analogy of the links of a chain illustrates the interdependency of one business, industry, or manufacturing concern upon another. Thus, the earth-moving equipment we viewed takes on significance when a relatively small tractor sales concern located in San Leandro supplies a large percentage of such equipment to the busy California land development companies, who in turn supply the market for those natural resources of timber we saw, hauled by the diesel engines of the railroads. They too are links in the chain, the railroads, for the very cylinders of these diesel engines are ground and honed and chrome-plated by another small business located in Emeryville. Adjacent in the industrial part of Berkeley, another small but swiftly expanding industry, which, in addition to its internationally distributed Shopsmith multiple home tools, produces drills and drill chucks for a host of nearby industries. Yet who supplies them? Less than 10 miles away in Emeryville, a completely equipped die casting company casts the aluminum power unit housings for the celebrated Shopsmith and drills those housings with equipment from its neighboring concern. In addition, this die casting company makes bases and side frames for the area's calculator manufacturers, commercial and military aircraft parts, swivels and frames for illuminating fixtures, and die casts for over 300 other small and large industries. Yet, with the others, they are links depending upon other links in the area. In nearby Belmont, a thriving concern makes precision gears to operate the die casting machinery, as it also makes intricate assemblies for military and commercial helicopter transmissions, and massive drive units for the Army's M-59 personnel carriers, manufactured in the Garden City of San Jose by a concern which started out as a small business and has expanded to become an internationally celebrated sales and manufacturing fountainhead, with numerous plants, some of which may turn out armament, and others canning and packaging machinery to supply the nearby food processing industries. All links in an endless chain that grows longer and stronger with each passing day, week, and month in this land of unprecedented opportunity, where each new industry is welcome because there is room for it, labor for it, markets for it. Other examples? Here is one company located in Oakland, which on a national scale produces high and low pressure valves, used among others by public utilities such as Pacific Gas and Electric Company, which serves them the power needed to produce those same valves, power that is inherent in every link, that connects all the items of material and manufacture in the chain of growth and development in this area, in which San Francisco is one of the great financial centers of the world. It's a land of golden horizons, all right, where a man can build a new business or a new bridge. One was needed in between Point Richmond in upper San Francisco Bay and the Marin County shore 4 miles distant. Why? People again. New people coming to California to live and to work. And so that the places where they work would be more convenient to where they live, this bridge was built. By a great out-of-state engineering or construction firm? With San Francisco one of the engineering centers of the United States? Hardly. A Bay Area steel company took on that bridge building assignment, fabricated the steel, erected it, drew 2 great spans closer and closer together in the center of San Francisco Bay until the link was completed. To supplement the chain of new highway construction, to make room for new people with new cars, people who want to be within easy driving range of their work, or who, if they are among those who supply the work and produce the goods, want those goods to move smoothly, swiftly, to markets and shipping points, to be able to reach any one of the 3 great bridges located on San Francisco Bay that are only a few hours distant from recreational wonderlands such as world-famous Yosemite Park and the many fabled beauties and resorts found throughout California. New modern highways that will take the seeker to available industrial land sites that fringe the greater San Francisco Bay Area, closely linked to rail, highway, and shipping facilities, where in many cases former orchard land now is converting to choice plant locations, which are matched by available areas throughout the Sacramento and San Joaquin valleys, as well as in coastal counties north and south of San Francisco, combining to spread the new industrial empire built on a magic word, accessibility. But the real magic comes with new people to provide labor for the industries, who themselves create new markets. People like Mary and John and their new baby, whose new home may be only a torn-up hillside as they see it now, but which soon will materialize to them and to hundreds of thousands of other new Californians as realities. Homes a building at a cost they can afford in areas where they choose to live. Homes for all incomes, new, original, architecturally exciting, building as swiftly as the land is building, homes becoming communities. And new communities must have schools. Schools acknowledged to be among the very best in the United States. And communities must have churches. It is a fact that California communities, new and old, have more churches of various faiths per capita than any other area of equal size in the world. And that speaks for the people, the youngest of the people who are here and are coming here to live in a land that is truly the land of opportunity, together with their elders who have found their place in gainful employment in the new growing industries, built by the planners and industrialists who have found the true gold in California that lies in her golden horizons for continuing new industrial development. All the ingredients for the industrial plant, large or small, are here in this flourishing economy with its burgeoning markets. Good sites, ideal climate, rich and plentiful natural resources, great financial institutions, vast modern sea, land, and air transportation, skilled and semi-skilled labor, and room for more industry and need for it to serve the continuing growth. These are the foundations of the swelling market of population in the West and the entire Pacific world, building on the structural strength of low-cost power and fuel. The true, the lasting gold of Northern and Central California, outshining all the gold ever taken from its hills and streams, found for today and tomorrow in its sinews of new industry, new products, new opportunity.